Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Bleach Chapter 525 review. So, this week's chapter of Bleach. Overall is actually a fairly simple chapter of Bleach. Which means that, by retrospect, this review should be a fairly quick review. It should be. Keyword should. So, in order to do a brief skim through of the entire chapter, it's basically a Kenpachi internal monologue about why he continues to pass out during this fight, and how, even though he's passing out all the time, it's nostalgic. That's number one. Number two is the flashback of when Zaraki and Unohana first met, and how like they had this fight, and during this fight, they had attained, both of them had attained such high levels of euphoria. But the thing here is that Unohana was still not strong enough to beat Kenpachi. But Kenpachi at that time, because he had fought no one else on that same level, and because he didn't want to lose this sense of euphoria, he had put shackles on his he had put shackles subconsciously on himself to restrict his power. That's number two. Number three is an internal monologue from Unohana, and how Unohana is continuously healing Kenpachi during this fight, and how she, in a way, regrets that she was not strong enough to beat Kenpachi, and thus from bipartisan, Kenpachi put restrictions on himself to bring himself down to Unohana's level. And right now, her job, her mission, her final mission, her quote-unquote final mission, is to kill Kenpachi several times, hundreds of times, thousands of times, so he can continuously remove the shackles that he placed on himself. So he can reach the same level that he was when he was a kid, and even further beyond in the future. And there's the entire chapter. That is the entire chapter in a nutshell. So, part one, it was okay. Yeah, it was okay. Kenpachi noticing that he was passing out, you know, and plus right now, I mean, because whatever, like honestly, like it was okay. It was okay. But right now, because he's noticing that he's passing out and he doesn't know why fully, he's like, fuck it. He's like, fuck it. I'm gonna go and pure instincts this shit. And we see him, and he's going like pure instincts. He's like, fuck it, man. Pure instincts. Yeah. He's going pure instincts. And the thing here, and by the way, yeah, this right here is an umbrella. It's not an Elite Ace sword, but fuck it. Why not? It works, doesn't it? It fucking works. So, that being said, yeah, he's going on pure instincts right now, right? Right now he's going hack and slash. So the thing here is that part one, I mean, even though it's not really of great importance, it does lead me to believe that Kenpachi isn't gonna learn these quote-unquote killing arts. Like he's not gonna learn a sword style or any kendo maneuvers, as far as I can see. All that's happening with Unohana and Kenpachi is that Unohana is trying to get Kenpachi back to the same level that he was before their fight. And that's not really, like, again, like there's no, as far as I can see, no kendo training, no killing arts training, just Kenpachi going on base instincts alone and being murderous and monstrous with those base instincts alone. So, I mean, the killing arts, I don't see them coming anytime soon. But if they do happen, then we're a ways away from that. At least, well, actually, maybe not. But whatever. I mean, but as of right now, I don't see Kenpachi learning any type of sword style or kendo or whatever. All I'm seeing him do right now is basically fighting via instincts alone and honing his skills to where he was when he was a kid. So that's number one, and overall okay. Number two, The flashback, subpar. Yeah, it was subpar. And the reason is very simple. Because it wasn't that good. You feel me? Like, it wasn't that good. The flashback. They could have done a lot more. Like, Kubo could have done a lot more when it came to the flashback. The fight in of itself between Kid Zaraki and Unohana, it was like pretty much like skipped or like skimmed through. Like, it wasn't like there was no full-blown fight that we saw between Unohana and Kid Zaraki. And that to me is a letdown. Because not only not only at that time was Unohana part of this demon squad. This, you know, this demon, like when like the first Gotei 13. Not only that, and not only was she the first Kenpachi, but also Zaraki as a kid was quote unquote more powerful than he is now. And seeing a full-blown fight between these two competitors would have been really damn good. But we didn't get to see a fight. It was like skim through and then euphoria. And then how Unohana, how she was weaker than Kenpachi. And how Kenpachi, because he saw his weakness, he put shackles on himself so he can fight on that same level. And thus he stunned himself combat-wise. So, I mean, and plus like, there was other things here that I wanted to see too. Like how Kenpachi first attained his Zanpakuto, when he first wanted to actually go around killing people. And again, this was kind of like, you know, like it wasn't really touched upon at all. So that's why the flashback overall, subpar. That's number 2. And number 3, so part 3, I'm going to give a good. And the reason why is because we get the full scope of what Unohana's doing. She is constantly healing Kenpachi. So Kenpachi's actually dying. But she's healing him. So he's being revived. And this allows him to fight at full power. And to, quote-unquote, remove the shackles that he placed on himself. She explains how Kenpachi was slowly doing this over the course of his battles. With Ichigo, with Noitara. And I don't know why he didn't do this same notion when he was fighting against Roit, against Yuha, like, you know, like Roit / Yuha, but, I mean, I don't know, I have no idea. But what I will say is that what she's doing right now is accelerating the progression of Kenpachi removing the shackles on himself. I mean, the shackles on himself. So he can reach that state where he was as a kid sooner, even faster, and thus go even further beyond in the future. And that's her primary goal right now, to, you know, accelerate Kenpachi's unshackling. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So, I mean, the rating overall, I mean, we have 1 okay, we have 1 subpar, we have 1 good. So, chapter overall is going to be okay. It was okay chapter. You know, not that great. The fight, again, there could have been a lot more scenes with the flashback when Unohana and Kenpachi first fought. I would have liked to see a lot more about the, you know, the origin of Kenpachi's Zanpakuto, and also Unohana being that demon back in the day, you know, being a part of that first Gotei 13. I mean, we may get a flashback of this later on, but as of right now, I don't see it. And also learning about how Kenpachi, he's now relying on instincts alone and not really using, like, I don't see him learning any kendo or any, you know, killing arts. So, yeah, so we'll leave it at that. But Unohana, she has her, in order to atone for her sins, she will remove Kenpachi's shackles. And by killing him and healing him repeatedly, he will remove these shackles. So, I mean, it's that simple. So, King Lightning, rating overall is going to be okay. And I'm signing out. Be sure to, of course, rate, comment. Oh my god, yo, this is a fuck-up fest. Be sure to, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. And I'm signing out. Peace. Have a nice day. Deuces. Yeah.